Good day, I'm Subathira Muniandy. Here I would like to report on a small research project that I intend to carry out as part of an assignment for the Doctoral Seminar Research Area in Education. There are 6 sections that I would like to brief about, namely Introduction, Literature Review, the rationale to conduct the research, problem statement, research approach, and significance of the study. Without further ado, I would like to start with an introduction. At the end of 2019, a new virus started developing in Wuhan, China, and by the time 2020 came, the virus spread in full force across the world. All kinds of measures were taken to protect humankind from the rapid spread of this COVID-19 virus. In mid-March, things came to a dangerously high and culminated in a crisis. Governments everywhere rapidly brought into enforcement defense laws to restrict the movement of human beings to curb the spread of the virus. All sectors were subjected to new restrictions, forcing everyone to stop their daily activities and remain in the confines of their homes. Even the education sectors was not spared, including here in Malaysia. Hundreds and thousands of teachers and students were made to stay home, and all education was conducted via online learning. This drastic change did not only affect primary and secondary schools throughout Malaysia, but also higher learning institutions and colleges, both government and privately run institutions as well. In this context, the Penang Matriculation College students, especially the 2-year program students, were also ordered to stay home and pursue their studies online. Although this measure helped reduce the infection rate, the quality of education was affected, especially in the English language. This study is aimed to determine the challenges faced by the 2-year program students in 3 domains, namely infrastructure, teaching and learning, as well as motivation and willingness while they were engaged in online learning during the COVID-19 pandemic. In my next slide, I would like to synthesize studies by other researchers regarding the challenges of online learning. According to Hpes study in 2020, the majority of English as foreign language students in Arab Saudi were dissatisfied with their online learning because they did not make desired progress in language learning, specifically in terms of pronunciation, Hpes, and phonemes. In addition, Suryaman in 2020 also studied which focused on how students learn online from home during the pandemic, revealed that students encountered many obstacles when studying online from home. Some of the problems reported were a lack of computer know-how, high internet cost, as well as limited interaction or socialization between teachers and students and among students themselves. Similarly, Kapasia and his friends found that lockdown that occurred impacted students' learning experiences and performance in 2020. Students also face anxiety, depression, poor internet services, and unfavorable home living environments, especially students who were from remote areas. In 2020, Singh and his co-researchers investigated the overall experience in online learning and found that students appreciated it during the pandemic, but half of them believed that the traditional classroom setting was more effective than online learning platforms. While Hyatt in 2021 also had its research on online learning and found challenges such as inadequate interactions, time limitation, infrastructural deficit, and other issues. Likewise, Mato and his co-authors study in 2021 also encountered students reposted online learning reduces the workload on faculty and increases it on students. Lastly, in 2022, Al-Samari in his study found lack of proper training, policies and guidelines are barriers to successful e-learning. In this third slide, I'm going to explain why I want to conduct the study. The current priority of the Malaysian government is to increase 4G network coverage from 91.8% of Malaysia's 4G coverage to 96.9%. In this case, online education should be given the privilege to cultivate illiterate citizens. To do that, the current study initiated to get a response to challenges faced during the online learning. In this study, different samples will be used who are 2-year program students at Penang Matriculation College. It is to determine how online learning affects students who are studying English in the matriculation syllabus during the COVID-19 pandemic. The findings of the studies will be based on respondents' experience in the online learning environment of 1 year. I hope that the result will help lecturers and the college to find solutions for the future endeavor. Next is problem statement. As the COVID-19 pandemic rapidly spread across Malaysia, the education system had to make a quick decision and quickly embrace online learning as the main mode of teaching. There was no guideline as to how lessons will be conducted, and what was taught in a physical classroom was now taken into online classes. There was also uncertainty as to when the pandemic will reside. At the Penang Matriculation College, the 2-year program students were quickly provided Google accounts by the Ministry of Education. Then, students were given links to join Google Classroom, marking the start of a new method of learning via online classes, which were conducted via the Google Meet platforms and work posted via Google Classroom. The lecturers who conducted online classes faced technical difficulties such as internet connectivity problems. Similarly, students who remained at home and received instruction from home also faced difficulties in understanding lectures and tutorials, as well as facing connectivity problems. I found that there is a dire need to find out the specific challenges faced by students so that solution can be found for future online learning. To find out more about the challenges faced by the 2-year program students, I think obtaining comprehensive feedback from the students will answer my questions. So I opt to conduct this study to uncover the challenges that 2-year program students face while learning online. So, in my next slide, I would like to brief you on the research approach. Here, there are 4 necessary sections to elaborate on, namely research questions, methodology, data collection method, and analysis. Firstly, in this study, I would like to attempt to answer the following research questions. Research question 1. Did the infrastructure domain cause a challenge for the 2-year program students in online learning? Research question 2. Did the teaching and learning domain pose a challenge for the 2-year program students during online learning? And research question 3 is, did the motivation and willingness domain create a challenge for the 2-year program students during online learning? Move on to the sample of the study. The respondents for this study will be 200 male and female students pursuing the 2-year matriculation program at Penang Matriculation College, one of the government-run matriculation colleges in the country. These students will be from 3 different modules, namely life science, physical science, and computer science modules, and they are all of the same age, which is 19 years old. These students have been engaged in online learning for 2 whole semesters in both synchronized and asynchronized modes during the 2021-2022 academic session. It will be a quantitative method which will be descriptive correlational studies describing the variables and the relationship that occur naturally between and naturally among them. Next is data collection. The questionnaire was adapted according to the following procedures. First, the related literature on the challenges faced by students learning online was reviewed, as these studies provided a preliminary perception of how to identify the challenges to be measured in this study. Secondly, a feasible questionnaire was found in the research conducted by Hijazi and Almato in 2021, and the questionnaire utilized in the said study was examined and the items adapted for this research. The number of domains was limited to 3 as compared with the 7 domains in the original study by Hijazi and Almato. Thirdly, some of the items in each of the 3 domains were reconstructed to suit the current research. Lastly, the said questionnaire will be examined by the research and development expert from the college for validity purposes before it is administered. This questionnaire will be converted into Google Forms and the link will be sent to the respondents via WhatsApp or Telegram. Lastly, the presentation of findings will be in descriptive analysis after Cronbach coefficient alpha was used to calculate the internal consistency coefficient of the items included in the questionnaire. In the last slide, I would like to explain the significance of the study. The importance of this study stems from the fact that the world is going through a global pandemic that requires a change in teaching methods, along with the reality that online education in the English language context is going through a lot of challenges that affect the quality of education and the quality of learning. The results of this study are vital for developing education quality assurance in many countries since they face the same challenges. Initially, this study will assist in revealing crucial issues of student engagement in their education during and after the COVID-19 pandemic. Such issues could be used as a reference for other scholars to conduct further research in other educational contexts, or could be used by concerned authorities to upgrade their educational initiatives. Notably, the results will be of great benefit to the instructors since they are in direct communication with the students and will be able to understand their experiences better and discuss with them problems relating to online management. Finally, the results of the study can be used to improve post-pandemic educational systems and education quality and to reduce the cost of educational facilities as they will be able to adopt productive online education practices. With this, I end my presentation.